listening to the Mark Bradford Alchemy for Life podcast.
Creativity's not a superpower, but you know what I mean. Well, hey there. Welcome back. Are you a creative? Or are you, I don't know, a non-creative? I mean, we all have some creativity. We all have that within us. And that's a whole different podcast. But some of you consider yourselves to be creatives. You know who you are. And some of you consider yourselves to not necessarily be so creative. You read fiction and things like that, and you go, wow, I could never think of stuff like that. And you know, you still have creativity in you. But my point is that there are some people who do creative stuff and some people as part of their job, not necessarily, or at least that's their definition of it. And it's sort of a self-imposed definition. You know, especially if you work in corporate America and so forth, you do your stuff and you go home, or you do your stuff and you open up your laptop and you do more stuff. And that's another podcast we talk about. So this rambling I'm doing for the first minute about creative and non-creative is that there's something unique that happens when you're creative. Let me use an opposite example to prove it. So if you're somebody who is, in finance, let's say, you're not going to go, you know what? I've always wondered what it'd be like to make these kind of pivot tables. And you're going to open up your laptop on a nice sunny day, and you're going to spend like 3 hours making a bunch of spreadsheets with just demo data in it and go, oh, that's cool. Huh. I mean, right? Like you sort of learn a skill and then you exercise the skill and then you get paid for the skill, basically. You know, creative people sometimes do things start to finish where no one's going to pay them for it. No one's going to even see it. Let me give you a number of personal examples. I've done all sorts of video editing experimentation with things that no one is ever going to see because I was trying to prove a point to myself and say, does this effect actually work? I have done a number of podcasts and things, a number of recordings of things to test out theories. I have written things. I have written short stories and fiction that I never published because I wanted to flesh out an idea and go, well, okay, Mark, you can think, well, that would be cool, or would it? Why don't you write it first and see just how cool it is, or write it or see if that would really work? Would a situation like that even work? Could you possibly describe that sort of connection or conversation or situation? And then you do it. And so when you've labeled yourself a creative, one of the things that comes along with it is this carte blanche. Yes, carte blanche. This, sort of this universal card that allows you to just say, well, I can work for free anytime I want for myself. I can do stuff. In fact, I kind of have to. It sort of allows your brain to say, I have this crazy idea. I'm going to go pursue it. Okay, I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, that seems like an awful risky thing. It seems like a huge waste of time. It seems like flights of fancy. Is that what you're talking about? A flight of fancy where you go, where's Mark? Well, he disappeared for 2 days because he's working on a nonsense thing. What nonsense thing? I don't know. He's got some crazy idea in his basement and, is he going to show it? No, he's not going to show it to you. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're an artist, you may experiment with colors, or you may experiment with a new medium, and you may go, wow, that's shit, and then throw it away. Or you may, something like that. Or if a lot of your creativity is done using technology, and I'd say the vast majority of mine, if not all of it, is even my writing is done using, a computer, a Mac and things like that. I'm not going to handwrite my stories because my hand would fall off. So it's still a lot of effort that people may not see. So having said all that, and establish that. I guess think if you do that. Like, you could be the finance person just shaking your head and saying, dude, I actually do that. Like, I took my own home budget and just went seriously nuts on it with the amount of graphs and things that I did. And I did like 10-year projections, and I did, like fact sheets for the CEO and blah, blah, blah. Okay, coolness. Then you're one of those many people that I love, which is the people who are half creative and half, well, I can't say half. I think it's 100% creative and 100% logistical and logical, which is what I am, which means I love people like me. Aw. But that's what I'm saying, is that there's that creative element that just creeps in, and it's just a wonderful thing. So having said all of that, I want to tell you how important that is, how liberating and how wonderful it is to be able to do that, to be able to consider an idea and have the freedom, and I don't mean freedom externally necessarily. I don't mean the freedom in your job, in your relationship, and your time necessarily. I mean the freedom. I actually do mean time. Hold on here. We're going to get to that. I mean the freedom to be able to take that energy. Oh, wait a second. I just said time and energy. Hold the phone. Well, what's left? Resources? Oh, to have the freedom of time, energy, and resources to be able to do that. I mean, we plan vacations, which are time, energy, and resources. We plan jobs, time, energy, and resources. We plan relationships. We plan projects. We plan everything, time, energy, and resources, time, energy, and resources. But a bout of creativity to be able to go, let me draw from my time. Okay, obviously everything takes time. Energy, well, yeah, it's going to take some energy. I mean, it very well be that magic zero-sum game where you spend all this energy doing this thing. Like, my God, Mark, how much effort did it take to do that? And then you think, well, it took exactly the amount of effort and energy as it gave back to me. So it was like nothing. What? And that's how it is for people who write books. And that's how it is for people who paint these magnificent paintings. And you think, the amount of effort that they put into it, and especially when people film like with stop motion and things like that, you're like, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. I look back on the books I've written, especially the fiction that are these massive novels, the 400-page novels, and I look back and I go, I could never do that. Like, I'm the person who wrote the freaking books, for Christ's sake. And I look back at them and I go, I could never do that. Why wouldn't I just give up? Why wouldn't I just go, man, how long is this going to take? Right? And that, having done it a couple times, let's say, the fiction at least, I know how many months it's going to take essentially to do something like that, and to say, oh, just make like a 3 or 4 or 5 month or 6 month commitment of just the writing alone, let alone the editing and so forth. Oh, okay. And that just sounds so absurd to somebody who is not labeling themselves a creative, right? Like, look, dude, I don't want to commit to like a 6-month freaking project. I mean, the research and the whiteboard and the this and the that and the re-edits and the finding the time and the finding the emotional gasoline to write something. Like, you want emotional gas for writing a nonfiction? Not that much. It's kind of like going to work and kind of like doing your thing because, it's all business. It's a professional environment. Thank you very much. But like, if you're writing fiction that may have emotion and people, experiencing emotion and heartbreak and sadness and so forth, that takes some emotional gas because you can't just go click, yeah, I'm going to go write something horrific now, right? Or I'm going to go write a love story. Okay, click, and then I'm going to have breakfast. It takes that investment. It takes the investment of energy, but it also gives it back. So I guess what I've done here is to kind of bring this to your attention and take you on this little journey of, what happens to somebody when they're creative, because they have this card that they can play and go, okay, I'm just going to do it. What a wonderful thing that is, what a wonderful thing that is to be able to do. And it just sort of comes out of nowhere after making a commitment to creativity. And so I'm just saying to you, if there's something in your life that you consider to be your thing or something you enjoy, your creativity, photography, whatever, whatever the thing is, it's a horrible crime to prevent yourself from having one of these quote unquote flights of fancy. If you say, I want to capture this in photography outside because I do landscape photography. And, for me to do that, I'd have to get up at 3 a.m. Then get up at 3 a.m. then. Get up at 3 a.m. and go drive for 2 hours or whatever it is to do that. Because then you're satisfied. You gave that to yourself, or whatever your thing is. And to those people who've never done this and are just shaking their head like, this guy's crazy, try it sometime for something. Just for once, try it. And you may find that there is a hobby, an outlet, an expression that's just waiting for you. Okay? Please? And let me know. As always, let me know. Say, Mark, I did that thing and it was great. It was horrible. You're a genius. You're an idiot. No, don't call me that. Please don't call me that. So thank you so much. I'm a minute over of my predetermined time, and I wish you well and take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Hey there. Thanks for listening. I always appreciate your feedback. I really, really do. Wanted to let you know that the Sword and the Sunflower audiobook won as Best New Author for 2020. My podcast is available wherever you consume podcasts, and my books are available on Amazon. Take care.